what are some key problems you see hospitality properties have when it comes to maintenance?
Yeah, I think one of the things that kind of reoccurs often in my experience has been that there's a lack of communication between, let's say, the guest and the maintenance team. So often,
Oh, interesting.
that communication goes. Obviously, a guest is there. They're going to be calling the front desk. There's a problem with my sink or whatever it is, my shower, and then it kind of stops from there. There's nothing. The guest doesn't have that ability to understand what's happening next. When are they coming? Maybe the maintenance person's doing something else right now, so they'll be there at 6, and we're not going to have that communication. So I think the guest experience has been a little bit on the communication level maybe suffering, and a lot of that can be helped with a software like ours, for example, because we have that ability to communicate back to that person, whether it's through even a text message or an email. Like once the guest can call down to the front desk, let's say, and say, I've got a tub or whatever issue, we can automate an email back to that guest saying, well, that person is going to be here at this time. And so now they're getting it on their personal device. They're like, okay, I know what's going on with this. And then when it's closed, they can get like, oh, maybe you were out somewhere. And when you come back to your room, they're like, they were in the room and they've dealt with that issue. So that closing the loop on the communication, I find that's personally, when I go to a hotel or any place, I like that. And I think that's been something that's been lacking. And it's also something that's cost prohibitive typically for a small operator, because you think, oh, I got to get a big system in place if I'm going to have that communication with the guest and so on. Whereas maintenance care can handle that pretty seamlessly, and it doesn't cost you this big amount. You're needing the tool anyways for the maintenance team, so now utilize the extras to communicate with the people that are on site there. So that's been one of the things I've seen. And then the other part of it has to do with when you're managing your building equipment. I think that's been a big one. You're dealing with these large boilers and water tanks. I mean, you have to keep your guests' hot water warm and all the time ready to go. And so downtime is a big issue. If you have downtime on your equipment, then you could go out all night, like somebody can't use hot water for the entire night. Your entire suites are not able to provide that service. So, having a plan to prevent those failures and having regular preventative maintenance on them, having downtimes that you schedule where you have backups, all of that our software can help handle. And I think that's been again, the smaller hotels and resorts and so on, they often have that obstacle where they think that they need a big system to help them through that, like a building automation system and so on. But you don't. You can use something like maintenance care to help you plan those things, and it'll give you all the information you need. So that, again, I'm providing the solution, I think, to something that is usually seen as a big obstacle.